All right, welcome back, everyone. Routing in IPv4, you just got a taste of it. You just got a taste of it. All right. We didn't do default routing, but we did do a static route, which this really is an example of a static route, but it's a default static route. And you already done this one, which is a static route. So we're going to use the same lab that we used before, but this time, what we're going to do is use what's called, and you'll see it, gateway of last resort. That's why when I told you that there's some IP addresses that are not usable, that you cannot use them because they're reserved, the 0000 is one of them. All right. Now remember, one of the things, let me talk about before we get into the lab. Okay. I said that static routes have an administrative distance. What's an administrative distance? An administrative distance is the believability of a particular route. Okay. Static routes is 0 or 1. Why? Why the difference? Because when you use a static route with the exit interface, which is what Cisco recommends, a static route, not a default route, a static route. When you use a static route with the exit interface, it's going to look like if it's connected. That's why it has 0. If you use the next hop address, meaning I would have used 10.1.1.6, then it would be an administrative distance of 1. But it's still going to be more believable than using a routing protocol. Okay, because since we're using RIP version 2, its administrative distance, and I'll show it to you now, is 120. All right. The only reason we will use a default route is because when you create a default route on a router, it'll set the gateway of last resort, meaning if the router does not have an entry in the routing table, okay, for that particular network that you're trying to get to, you're going to point it to a particular interface or IP address, and listen, just send it to the next router. Just send it out this interface. Somebody's got to know where that one's at. That is what a default route does. It could be to the internet, it could be to another segment, what have you. All right. Be careful when setting default routes not to put an internal IP address and then you create a routing loop. Okay, that could be also an issue. So you got to be very careful what you're doing. But let me show you the administrative distances. All right, so let's go back to the same lab that we were doing. So let's close this presentation. All right, let's open up the lab that we were doing, which is this right here. Okay, you know this lab, you're very familiar, or you're familiar with it. All right, we did the RIP, right? So we're going to move this over here so you can see it. All right, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the routing table first. Show IP route. All right, and you can see right here that is 120. That is your administrative distance. And that's telling you the hop count, that you're 1 hop away from that 2 network. That's all that's telling you. You got to go through 1 router to get to that particular network. Okay, so that's what it's telling you in brackets. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of RIP, and we're just going to use default routes. Okay, so I'm going to go router 0, I'm going to go config T, I'm going to say no router RIP, enter, do WR. That took care of that. I come over here again, and you can see the administrative distance and the hop count right here. I'm going to say config T, no router RIP, do WR, control Z. And then what you see is show IP route. Now we only know what we're connected to again. And look what it says right up here. Gateway of last resort is not set. We're going to set it right now. But you can see that both interfaces are 0, 0. So that's where we're going to send it to. Config T, IP route 0.00, 0.00, which means any. Okay. What interface? S0/0/0. That's the interface it's going to go out by. Once you do that, let's do a WR from right here. Let's do a show IP route again so you can take a look at what's going on. You see that you have an S with an asterisk on there. Okay, doesn't like my finger. And now it says the gateway of last resort is this. Send it to any network. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on router 0. All right, I already took out RIP, so now I got to do the default static route. IP route 000. Oops, I did it again. 0.00, 0.000, 0. All right, out the exit interface. I need a 0. Okay. Do WR and then do show IP route. And there again, you see that S with an asterisk right on there. There it is. That's your default route. And then you have a gateway of last resort that is set to any network. So now let's see if we have connectivity using a default route. Okay. And you can see that by using the exit interface, it's showing you that it is connected. There's no hop count. All right. So let's try it again. Let's go all the way down here. Let's move this over here. We'll up arrow. And we still have connectivity. But you might be saying, oh, well, he's pinging from the same computer. He probably doesn't work from the other computer. Well, let's see. For you non-believers, right? Ping 192.168.1.1, and I get a reply. So using a default route, it's not an entry. It's not an entry on that routing table. That routing table, nowhere does it say that that router knows that that 1.0 network exists. So it had to use the default gateway and just send it out to this router. And this router said, hey, I know about that 192.168.1.0. That was going down the pipe, and was able to go down to that one, and he was able to reply because he doesn't know about the 2, but he does. He just said default gateway. I don't know. I'm just going to send out that interface. He got it. He knows about the 1.0, and he got the reply. That's how that works. Okay? Very simple. Default routes. The where you want to use default routes is what they call stub routers, on your edge routers, on your routers facing outwards towards the internet. If you're going to use, because default routes can only face one way, and that's out, going somewhere. All right? That's it for this lecture. I'll see you in the next one.